Welcome to the next episode of Just About Boxing Jab University, brought to you by iBuild Texas. Check out our sister podcast, Jimmy's World. Both shows are available on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Today's special guest is none other than Coach Extraordinaire AJ Vasquez. What up,
What's up?
man?
Extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire. Hey, AJ, tell everybody where you at.
What's up, man? Like I said, AJ Vasquez. I'm out here in Greeley, Colorado. So top notch boxing.
Top Notch Boxing Club. So what kind of program is Top Notch? They got pay a lot to go there? Is it a city program? Is it your program, nonprofit? What is it?
So top notch falls under the umbrella of Top Notch Sports Academy and Mentorship. Basically, we have boxing, MMA, wrestling, and then we have a dance program. And then we have a group home. So a lot of people don't know that, but there's a group home that we established. Mike is the founder of it, Mike Alerius, and he's been doing that for 40 years. He's been coaching for 40 years. I mean, he's 70 years old now. So I mean, he's been around the game forever. Martial arts, back before MMA was a thing. He was a black belt in pancreas, and then his wife was like world renowned for martial arts back in the 70s and stuff. And so anyways, fast forward to now, it's Top Notch Sports Academy and Mentorship. And, where our whole goal is to really just try to help these kids out in the streets, especially in Greeley. It's a big gang city. So we really try to get these kids off the streets and provide as much programs as possible, like with sports.
That's what's up. Keeping kids busy, keeping kids off the streets. Saw an article on Facebook today where they're talking about, yeah, it'd be nice to have an Olympian come out of this gym, but it's more about steering these kids in the right direction. And I think that's very honorable, and kudos to you for that. So how'd you get into this sport of boxing, man?
Man, I grew up in it. I started boxing when I was just a kid. We were young. We had moved out to Minnesota. My dad, he lived up north of St. Paul for a while, so we started up there, and we came back to Greeley, man, and we've always just been part of it. Competed as a kid, as a youth, teenager, stuff like that. But and then as far as coaching, man, just me and my brother, we kind of went a different route for a few years. Had to go away for a few years, but as when we came back, and it was just something that, hey, this is what we love. This is a way that we could give back, and that everybody knew us as like on the streets. So I just felt like we could get their attention. And then, when my brother came home, I grabbed him and I was like, look, there's no sense of going back. So he's been down with me for about 3 years now, doing, for the same cause. So that's what we've been doing, man. 2010 is when we opened up. So as far as like our gym, and then we teamed up with Top Notch about 3 years ago. So
That's what's
Mike
up.
reached out to us. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no testimony without a test. So I think you guys going through what you've been through in life helps you reach kids at a different level where somebody else probably just couldn't get to them.
Straight up.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So you got some good fighters out of there. You got Grace, you got Eric. You got quite a few. One of my favorites is your nephew. I think he thinks I'm retarded because he just kind of laughs when I talk to him. I know you were trying to throw a show. Was it April 18th? And you ran into a little issue. What happened with that?
Man, it was bogus. Man, it was straight bogus. So what happened was April 18th, obviously everybody knows COVID put a damper and everything. And then, there's all these policies with USA Boxing and all that, which is cool. I get it. But they started opening up. So we put the show on the books. Well, seriously, man, one lady from the city where we were going to do it in Evans, she was the city clerk. She just doesn't, I don't think she understands boxing. She doesn't understand USA Boxing. She started like campaigning that we were promoting a fight night for kids, and basically that we were going to have a bunch of drunk people just rooting on like a fight night for kids. And she literally took this to the district attorney, and that's how she presented it, as in that we were promoting a teen fight night. with no rules, no nothing, just go in there and fight for the benefit of adults getting drunk and having a good time. I got Jeannie DePriest, who's the president for Colorado LBC. I got her involved, and she went to bat. Explained USA Boxing, explained sanctioned bouts, everything. With the doctors, and insurance that comes. Just everything, man. And this lady she would not stop, man. And so, she presented her case, and the district attorney believed that she was in the right. So we had to cancel it, man. And it was just straight bogus. And I don't even know how to. I'm still just blown away that this happened. Like it just blows my mind. They have wrestling tournaments every weekend, and it's the same USA Wrestling, just like USA Boxing, and I don't get it.
Yeah, man,
So
that's that's unfortunate and weird. Hopefully we can send this episode directly to that lady. Like, look, man, you need to learn something.
straight up.
Yeah, she was wrong, but that ain't stop you though. You got a show August. Tell me about that one.
Yeah. So if you're familiar with this area, Greeley, there's Greeley Evans. It's like you don't even know when you're in the other side or whatever. So Greeley is more open. The only thing is we didn't go to Greeley first is because the venue was going to work with us, as far as price and all that. But we just moved it to Greeley, man, and August 14th. Yeah, it's going down. We're trying to. I want to get some of the best in the nation. Versus Colorado kids. I want all Colorado kids fighting an out of state kid, and you know, it's gonna be dope, man. It's at the Island Grove exhibition hall, which is like the biggest. That's where they do like the rodeo and like all the concerts. It's a huge stadium, and then they got like little or smaller buildings. So it's gonna be dope. We got some cool little belts and stuff that we're gonna give the kids, and you know, um, it's gonna be nice, man. August 14th.
You still
So
making matches for that?
still making matches, man. We haven't even really put them together yet. Like we got some, written down that are like, all right, this will be a good one. Um, so my brother's actually handling all that. So I'm still collecting some lists. I just got the Vargas brothers. They actually just that's what I was talking to you right before me and you got on the line. The Vargas brothers out there in Texas. Um, they just hit me up, and I was talking to what's his name, Jesus Panteria. I was
Yeah.
talking to his dad too. So trying to lock that one in. So I'm trying to get some, Ariana. Nobody wants to fight her, but I've come to find
Yes.
out.
Yeah. It's hard getting her matches. Then there's not that many girl boxers, and then
Yeah,
she's just been winning everything. She's on a tear. We kind of expect it.
I'm about
But
to
her
lace him up
dad's
with her.
yeah, her dad's down to drive up, so hopefully we can get something, I got to show some appreciation to you too, because I haven't been in Colorado very long, but as soon as I got here, man, you showed me love, open your arms, brought my kid up to spar at your gym, man, and I really appreciate that, especially us coming to a new town, a new area. We really didn't know nobody, man.
Yeah, straight up, man. You guys, that's what we do, man. It's all you're on the same page as us. So I appreciate that. You let us come down to where you're at, and we dig that. And everybody, like my nephew, man, he digs you and your son, and everybody at the gym. So it's all love, man.
Yeah, man. Boxing's a close knit community. I see you working with some pros now. You got Fernando Acosta. You got Eric. Who else you working with?
We got Ben Lugo. He's fighting June 26th. He's a beast, man. That dude, man, he's a beast. I can't wait for that fight. It's actually the guy that he's fighting, Jaden Vigil. He was a good amateur, man. Like real solid amateur. Won a lot of fights. Won some big tournaments. Has international experience. Was on the national team. This kid is solid, bro. So the fact that they agreed to get with us, like, cause Ben's a beast, bro. Like, he's my guy, so of course I'm gonna hype him up. But on some real shit, he's a beast, like I'm excited. We're working hard for this fight. It's on a good card, man. They're having a card up in Cheyenne. The promoter does this thing called Army versus Marines once a year, and it's a huge card. Jeff Cisneros from Sparta, he puts on a good show for that, a good event, and I'm just happy we're even on that event because, like I said, it's like the premier event every year in this region, and I mean they've sold out the Pepsi Center, they sold out the Budweiser Center. I mean they really go all out on this event, man. So and I feel like we're gonna bring, man, that fight's gonna be tight, man. It's gonna be dope. I'm looking forward to it. And then we got Justin Gonzalez. He's fighting June 11th, I think. He's fighting. Well, he does MMA, but he's fighting on Bellator. He'll be on TV, so everybody can catch him on Fox, I think. So we got him, Ben. Let me see, Eric, Fernando. Uh, who else we got? I'm missing somebody. Uh, oh, my boy Zeke. My boy Zeke. He just fought. So yeah, man, we got quite a few, like between boxing and MMA. So Eric, that's my dude though. I mean, Eric. So
Yeah, man. Um, so you got all that going on. How is it coaching MMA guys? Do you modify your boxing for them, or you just teach them general skills? How does that work?
it just depends, man. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. Like I don't ever like fake the funk on this. I don't like MMA.
Me
I
neither.
do I do not. I even my guys, I tell them, I'm like, I don't watch it. Um, I don't. So, anyways, like with boxing, like it's weird because they have like a wrestling background or like a ground background, so their stance is all jacked up, and I'm real big on feet. Like I teach any new guy, it's always start with the feet. So with MMA guys, it's like, man, they're open, they're square, they're ready for a shot, the takedown, and so it's kind of different. At first, man, it was difficult for me because like I would try to correct that, but then like I would see them rolling around and I would see where it would cause them problems because, with that foot back, shoulder turn forward, it just doesn't work for them. So it took me a while, man. And like with Justin and Lugo, I got really close. Like I helped Justin. I basically trained him for his championship fight um, last, like about a year and a half ago. So, we did a full 8-week camp and I learned so much with that. Um, just because, I mean, I had to study, man. Like I literally watched videos for like 2 weeks straight of just his opponent and then Justin and just, so I had to learn, man, on the fly. And I just kept learning and learning. Like even now, man, like incorporating like knees and kicks and elbows and all that. That's different, man. It's just a whole nother ball game. And the one thing I can say though about them guys is like they're like true students of the game. Like I can only speak on Justin and Ben, but man, them dudes, bro, they respect boxing. Like I've taken Justin to spar with you, with your group, with your guys. You've seen what he does. I take Justin to spar with his squad, Junebug, Sean Mondragon, all them cats, and those are some of the best. And I mean, he's right there with them. And I mean, he loves it, man. Like even for this fight, hey, we got to go get some sparring because Sean's a southpaw. He's fighting a southpaw. Lugo, we got to go. We're gonna go spar with his squad. Same thing because they got the best and they love it. So it's cool, man. It's over time I've earned some like love for them. I still don't like MMA though.
Yeah, me neither.
It's something that I don't know. I just don't dig it. I just whatever. But I respect the grind and them guys. Everybody on the MMA side at our gym. I mean, they work their asses off, man. I see them every day. I see them working. They're getting it in. So and just like us on the boxing, we have, we I mean, we win, bro. That's what we do, and they do the same. Like they keep winning, and that to me is a testament to the hard work, right?
Yeah, last couple of boxing shows I went to, top notch leads with all the hardware, man.
Right?
Yeah, you got, and then that just shows that you guys are working hard. You're winning the fights in the gym before you even show up at the events,
Yeah.
and that's something I think everybody could learn from you guys. Like, man, y'all gym is so hot. Man, it is hot, and it's like you got to walk in, you got to go downstairs. There's
Yeah.
my son like, hey, how big is that ring? I was like, man, it's like a 4-foot ring. You got a little ring in there, and then you got a big ring in the other room.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's the
do
banger right now.
Oh, it is, man. Yeah, he's like, man, I'm tired. I was like, yeah, man, you got to fight a little faster in this little ring. Um, so we got the fights coming up. You got a busy schedule with the pros. Uh, I met you on the national scene.
Right.
You missed the last couple tournaments. You going what you got? You going to anyone coming up here soon or?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. You know how it is, man. I mean, you know how it is, bro. Like these tournaments, like the year before, like COVID, right? I mean, we went to everything. The last since 2016, I don't think we missed a national tournament. And then COVID hit, right? And so I'm like, Grace, her parents are real iffy with COVID, so like she's been kind of like missing a little bit, but she's still training, but not at that level. The junior stays in the gym just because obviously my brother, like, he helps coach, but other than that, man, like Eric turned pro, Fernando's going pro, Yaya went pro. Who else? Robert moved back, to where he was from. I mean, all the, they just like things happen. Pros happened a lot. Like I said, like Eric, that was a big one. Like we were everywhere. So, um, Gabby, she moved. It's things. Life happens, and so like the last one was what, the U.S. Nationals, right?
Yeah.
All we really had was junior, and I told my brother, we talked about it, and it's like, do we want to go? Do we take him? And I don't know, man. We just decided not to. Like with Junior, he's what, 12 years old. So every national tournament since he was 8 years old, he's been at every single one. And I was like, man, give him a break. You know what I mean? Like this kid's been going hard. Like, Junior, bro. Junior, you're
Yeah.
gonna go hard 10 rounds with Terry. All right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but
Junior's kind of the most whatever kid I've ever met. Yeah, whatever.
straight up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he'll
Um,
just go do it. So it's just like, man, look, give him a break. We got a new crop, man. Like, you've met Jeremiah, Jose, Michael, all these, dude. I got this new group that's just, man. Like you said, they've been winning like crazy, and they're just naturals, man. And so we're kind of just building them up so that we can start getting back to the nationals, with more than just one. I want to take like 10. That's, you know what I mean.
that's what's up. And
So, but yeah, I think we're actually gonna decide in the next couple of days if we're gonna go to the JOs. Um, but if not, man, we got silver gloves coming up, so we got golden gloves, stuff like that, and then for sure though, at the end of the year, we're gonna go to the US again. Like that's for sure. We already got that on the calendar. So if we miss the JOs, we'll be at the later this year.
okay, that's what's up. Speaking about, like, you gave Junior a little break from going to all the national tournaments. Do you see the benefits of getting some rest, especially with these little kids and amateur boxing? Junior and my son got a lot of fights. They're both about to close out a book, if not already over 100 fights or close to it. Do you see the benefits? Hey, man, you got to take a break.
Dude, I do. I really do. It's something that I've talked to you about. You know what I mean? I've talked to Daniel, because he gave Lencho, his son, a break. And it's like, I see it, man, because like we have wrestling at the gym, right? And we have this kid named Andrew Lears. He was the number one recruit coming out of high school. I mean, he was bad. Won gold at the Pan Ams. And it's like, you just saw the wear and tear on his body. Not, I mean, he's still doing good. He's, a D1 wrestler, I mean, he's one of the best. But it's like, you see the wear and tear. I've seen some other kids, and it's like, I just saw another kid. He was one of the best wrestlers. He doesn't even want. He had 6 scholarships, big universities, and he quit because he was like, all I've been doing since I've been 6 years old is wrestling. Junior, he's been boxing since he was 8. Well, before 8, he's been in the gym, but it's like, I want to hang out with my friends. He's at that age, and I was like, man, I was like, yeah, man, it's like, you got to, like, don't burn them out, because they love the sport, but if you keep forcing them to come, it's like they're not gonna love the sport no more.
Yeah,
And
and
it's like,
you do you notice that it's a wear and tear on the body as well as the mind too?
oh yeah, I see it with Junior. Like Lencho, from his squad too. Like, uh, Grace. Even there was a point. Eric. It's like it's like they're almost going with the motions, and their skill is like high enough where they can get by, but you can tell it's not at their 100%. It's like, it's just, they know what to do to get by without getting hurt or, looking bad, but they're not, like Junior's lost a couple here and there. And it's like, but he didn't even, it's like, that he can do better. And to me, that's his mind, where he's just like, man, I'm burnt out. That, to me, that's how I see it. And so it's like, hey, like after this, after the Golden Gloves, he's actually going to take 2 weeks off, and then we're going to get ready for Silver Gloves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's, yeah, man, yeah, I think it's a huge deal. I see these guys, on Facebook, and they're like, they go to the gym, and then you see them at home, after the gym doing more. And I'm like, bro, they're 13 years old. Like, let them be kids, bro. Like, let them play video games. Let them, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
it's
feel you, man.
it's
Like,
a trip.
and then is it when you notice that, do you be like, hey, you need to take a couple weeks off, or is there something you say to them, or you is there a conversation that needs to be had with the athlete? Like, hey, man, I noticed this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't go into too much. That's a hard one because I don't want them to feel like we don't have confidence in them. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so like it's kind of hard. But I would, hey, just we're not gonna have practice for a week. Just kind of keep it like super simple. But it's always like that conversation with my brother, like, hey, you think they need a break? You know what I mean? Like, let's, so like with all the kids that we got right now, like we're taking 10 kids to this next tournament. It's like we already established like these guys have been going hard like for the last like 2 months. Like, hey, let's give them another week off after 2 weeks, and then Silver Gloves is right after that. Like, give them some time to rest, because with Silver Gloves, you go to state. It's so fast. It's like state, regionals, nationals, all within like 6 weeks, 8 weeks,
yeah,
something.
it's a lot of work and
Yeah,
a lot of time. You ever notice? Well, because I've coached the teenagers too. That sometimes they take a break and then it's like the never ending break. They never come back, or especially like that 13 to 15 age where they discover boys or they discover girls and it's kind of hard to get them back.
bro, that's the worst. I just went
Yeah.
through that with Fernando, bro, and he's 20, or he's 20, 21. He, found a little chica, and especially, man, here's a joke, but I tell them to stay away from the Mexican girls because they'll keep you at home.
Yeah. I got one too. Man.
But yeah, man, it sucks. It's that's the struggle, man. Like that 14, 15, 16, because then the girls or the boys, they start, it's like, man, but what can you do, man? You know what I mean? Like, unless you're the parent, you really can't control that. So it sucks. I see that stuff all the time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It kills me all the time, man. And then
yeah, man.
like my son's entering the teenage years and he's like, man, I gotta be fly. I need these kicks so these girls like me. And I'm like, man, you killing my pockets and you ain't got no game. What's wrong with you, man? So
Well, Junior's, he's not even my kid, man, and that's all, man. I feel you.
yeah, man.
I feel you.
So like, do you coach like I've talked to some people and their style is their style because that's the style they're raised with. Did you develop your own style to teach boxers, or is it something you just adapted or you're adapting to the specific person?
Yeah, both. Like I feel like um the guy that coached us, when we were younger, Robert, his name was Robert Johnson. He was a real he was very technical, but he was a banger. He was like, yo, get on the inside and bang away. Um, but like the thing that I've learned over the years, some kids ain't like that. Some kids want to stay on the out and
Yeah, you
box.
see my son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to me, it's like I had to learn that. Like, I always tell people like, when we first started coaching, I try to mold everybody like that. But over the years, I'm like, all right, that doesn't work. So yeah, man, I've become more adaptive to each kid, but I still keep like certain things. Like you could still box on the outside and still get to the body. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so to me, we're real big on that. And then defense, like we're always, hit, don't get hit, hit, don't get hit, hit, don't get hit. It's like Terry. I love Terry, your son, like the way he's he waits. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like Junior too. It's like they lose a lot now, but like in 5 years, watch what happens.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
whole.
frustrating. It's frustrating
Oh yeah,
as a coach. Is I tell everybody I'm a sore loser, man.
I
Like,
feel
yeah,
competitive.
yeah, I'm super competitive. I'm a sore loser. And then it's my son with my same name, named
Yeah.
after my daddy too. So I'm like, oh man, we gotta win. But then I get it, I get it.
What?
I went through it too at one point too, and I'm like, man, what,
I
but
have
the
this
goal is
conversation.
pros, man.
Right. And I have that conversation with you. I have it with Daniel. Daniel, I keep saying his name, like we're real tight, just like me and you are real tight. But it's like we say the same thing. It's like a lot of these dudes, you know what I mean? Like to me, there's levels to it, right? So it's like you got the local level, and a lot of these guys are like only at the local level. That's cool. You know what I mean? But like Terry, Junior, Lynch, Junie, Eric, when we go to nationals, that's where they shine because to me, it's like not only do you got the boxers that are local, then you got the officials that are local. Not to knock on them, but they don't know. Like I'm sure if people see this in Colorado, they're gonna get mad. But the officials in Colorado, it's like they see a kid that goes like Terry. He just fought in Longmont.
Yeah.
Horrible call. Horrible call. Like horrible. I couldn't believe that shit. But there was a few fights like that, and it's like they see a kid that's, let's say, moving forward, but he ain't landing everything. Like Junior Terry, I feel like even Lynch, like they're catching. They're. It's like, do the refs see that? Do they see the work that they're doing? You know what I'm saying? Do they? Yeah, they're moving forward and throwing punches, but it's like Junior Terry, all these, they're making them. They're hitting gloves. They're blocking everything and they're countering. They're not throwing 20 punches at a time, but they're throwing that one or two that's connecting every single time. And it's like, yo, but that's why, like, I tell my kids all the time, it's like, yo, we're not worried about this. The local to me is it's sparring with the winner. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're more
I
worried
like
about
that.
we're more worried about the tournaments. Like
Yeah.
when we go to
Sparring with a winner.
tournaments, Junior, Grace, Eric, Yaya, Robert, we've always, every tournament since 2016, we've always come back first, second, or third place every time. Proofs in the pudding.
Yep.
What can you say to that? Same
A-
thing with Terry. Like it's like that's where it's like there's levels. So where do you
Yeah.
want to be at?
And then if I say, I guess if we were to be able to fix the officials on say the local level, because I came moved up from El Paso, Texas, I seen it there, coached in Memphis, seen it there. So it's a local issue everywhere. But like, how do you fix the local officials? Is it because we don't have enough shows for them to gain the experience? Like, what is that?
See, that's tough because like, okay, I'm gonna use Colorado. Like, okay, COVID happened, but I mean now you've seen it. They're starting to have shows all the time. So you're getting experience, but it to me, it falls on like the chief of officials, if they want to call it. Um, I'm not trying to call this guy out, but the guy for Colorado, it's just like, yo, man, like I never see that guy at a national tournament. Go to a national like why is the chief of official from the LBC that we're a part of not at a national tournament gaining the experience that he needs to have too, so that when he comes over here and he's showing these guys, and you know what I'm saying, like it's a domino effect. It's just like a coach, right? If you have you're not, I don't think when I first went to a national tournament, I learned so much because I was like, damn, like we got to step our game up. Like these dudes are, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's the same thing. Like once I went to that first one, I was like, all right, I know what we got to do now. I think with the officials, man, it's like if you're not getting that experience outside of these local shows, like, well, then how are you supposed to judge a junior Terry? Like, I honestly want to have a conversation. Like, okay, I got Pantadilla coming up, possibly, the Vargas brothers. These, I got some kids from Chicago. Let's say we get Ariana a fight. Are we gonna have to worry about these local judges scoring something on that? You know what I'm
Not with
saying? Like,
Ari. We're gonna get it over with.
oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I feel you. I feel you on that one. Let's take her out the equation. But you know what I'm saying? Like the other ones, though, it's like, like because there's a possible matchup with Pantadilla and Troy Nash. That's a hell
Yeah.
of a fight.
Yeah.
In my eyes, it's like, man, I hope we have good judges that day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And that's gonna be a good fight. I actually thought that fight was supposed to happen at one of these national tournaments, and
Yeah, Pantadilla didn't make it though.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's if that fight happens at your show, man.
Yeah, that's a man. People don't even realize how good of a fight that is.
Yeah, man, that's a national finals type fight that you're gonna
Yeah,
have on a local show, and you hope whatever the outcome, it's a fair outcome.
yeah,
Because it affects relationships down the road. I threw a fight in El Paso, and half of Colorado showed up at my show, and then they beat the El Paso kids, and the El Paso kids was like, "Man, y'all set us up." You know what I mean? And I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, y'all, they knew the game a little bit better than y'all. They got more experience than y'all." Uh, but they was like, "Man, you set us up." Was that they fight more often than y'all, but the judges were fair in that case. You know what I mean? They really were fair in that case. And I complain about the El Paso judges like nobody's business, but in that case, they were fair, and that's all you want when you throw a show and you got out of towners coming, especially these elite level fighters. Hey, just make it fair and let the winner win, but just it should be a fair decision.
You know, the other thing that bugs me, man, and tell me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna use your son. Bro, again, like he got robbed. I don't know, man. That fight was horrible to me. But the one thing that I see, like I said, tell me if I'm wrong, but you get a lot of coaches, their wife is a judge, or like a family member is a judge. And then like especially in Colorado, man, it's like high school, man. It's like clicky. You know what I mean? I don't dig all that shit, man. I grew up gangbanging, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna
Yeah,
start doing that even
yeah,
now. Like we get all that, you know what I'm saying?
I feel
And
you.
but it's like it's a trip, man, because it's like, well, if this coach, his wife is a judge or friend or whatever, well, they don't like us. So are we getting that decision? You know what I mean? Like even though, because sometimes I'd be looking at him like I do, man. Especially in Colorado, it's like, it's not like we're not like liked out here, but I don't really conversate with many people, and so I wonder sometimes. I'm like, man, is Junior getting a fair shake? Does Grace getting a fair shake? Because like I said, Junior, like Terry, we've lost those type of fights where it's like, what were you guys watching?
Yeah,
You put that same match at a national tournament and it's a 5-0 win.
yeah. I've actually had my son tell me when we was living down in Texas, like, "Hey man, I lost because they don't like you." I was like, "What?"
Right.
It hurt
you
my
know,
feelings too, and I was like, "Yeah,
but
it
it's like,
shouldn't be that way. Yeah, it
no,
shouldn't be that way."
but it's like it crosses your head as a coach. You know what I mean? Is it like that? Is it not like that? But then at the same time, like, well, do I try to make myself likable? But I'm like, man, whatever. Like the ones that know you,
Yeah,
others, it's like that's all that matters, I guess. Because again, there's levels to it. Like we're more worried about those nationals.
yeah. That's where we want to be. We want to be. We don't want to be the local joker. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Nobody
straight up.
wants to do that. Yeah. So, but another question I want to ask you, especially because you train some MMA and you might have a opinion on this one, maybe different from mine, but I don't know. These YouTubers,
Whack.
whack. All right, there we go. There we go.
Garbage. I won't even pay it. Bro, look, I love Justin. I love Lugal. I love the guys in my MMA part of the gym. I don't watch it. When Conor McGregor fought Mayweather, I don't like Mayweather. I tell people all the time, he's the best at what he did. I'll give him that. He was good. I just don't like him personally. You know what I mean? Personally, I didn't like the dude. But when he fought Conor, I put as much money as I possibly could on that fight. And I had all these clowns. Oh man, Connor's gonna do this. I'm like, bro, he ain't even gonna fucking touch this dude. Like
Yeah,
Mayweather, and he didn't. Like Mayweather carried that dude for 8 rounds. And the
yeah,
moment he put it on him, it was over.
yeah.
And it's like, man, so no, like this, what is his name? Logan Paul? Is
I think so.
that his
Yeah,
name? Man, he's a clown. Like he is a clown. Like it pisses me off, man, because then it turns into, oh, well, he's making money. If your whole goal is money, you're not a man to me.
yeah,
Money comes and goes, bro. You know what I mean? Like I've had money. You know what I'm saying? Like now, even like I have you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to put your business out there, but we live very comfortable.
yeah,
I don't care to tell anybody that. I'm in shorts and a shirt every day, not looking like I'm worth $20.
I wear
But
sweats all the time.
right, like so, money to me is like it's not my priority. It's gonna come. So like when I hear these dudes, oh, he's making all, you're just saying that because you don't make that. If I did music for 12 years. I traveled the world. I was the same The same I am now was then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I think that shit's a clown. That shit's a joke, man. Like Mayweather is even more of a clown in my eyes for even taking that. It's like, bro, like you're a real boxer. Like, why would you entertain that? Like, oh, because I'm guaranteed this money. Man, get out of here. I don't respect that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I love this sport too much for it to be like be a mockery, and that's exactly what it is. It's a mockery.
Yeah. And
So
then I also feel like we are in the only sport in the world where the fan watches and be like, man, I can whoop him. Like,
no, you can't.
yeah, like really? Where'd you gather
Like
that from? Yeah.
I don't tell this to a lot of people, but we're in a city where there's a university, and there's been a lot of times, bro, where I get some football player from the university. Man, I'm strong. I'm tough. Well, you're gonna have to practice for a while before you spar. I'm ready now. And we go back, and then Eric lace them up real quick. It's done. They're knocked
Er-
out.
yeah, Eric
You
will
know,
ruin your life, man.
right? Fernando. You know how many times I've had Fernando um, handle this real quick. You know, Fernando's on. He's won his last 5 fights with knockout. That little dude has some power on him. You know what I mean?
Serious power. Yeah.
And the same thing. You know, Junior, bro, just about 3 months ago. Check this out. We had a kid that came in. I think the kid was like 17 years old. Junior's 12. This kid was probably like 110, and this kid was like 17. Same thing. You know, just he thought he was tough. Blah blah blah. And we put a kid in there. And he was a little too much for him. I looked over at Junior, and I could tell by his style. I'm like, Junior, what do you think? I got him. I put Junior in there with him, bro. Junior folded him with the. I mean, he stepped off of him, boom, to the body. That kid buckled, and Junior just hooked him over the top.
My
Done.
God, Junior.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, like, so, like, it's with the YouTubers, like, dude, Floyd's gonna murder this cat if he does. Like, if he takes it serious, you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna murder him. You know what I mean? Like, it's a joke, dude.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
joke.
Like, how did
Are
what
you gonna watch it?
possessed? No.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
I'm sick of paying for pay-per-views. I remember watching just USA, the Tuesday night fights,
yeah, yeah.
Friday night fights on ESPN, regular HBO boxing after dark,
Love that
Showbox.
shit. I
You know,
love that shit.
maybe one or two pay-per-views a year, not pay-per-view every month. And then like I support like a lot of prospect fighters, so every if they fight far away, it's the 9.99 on Fight TV, or I mean, I told Daniel Bay, they interviewed him this morning, it's like, dog, I'm gonna write you off of my taxes because you fight twice a month and I gotta pay 9.99 every time I want to see you fight. So no,
Straight
I'm
up.
not gonna, like, yeah, pay-per-views out of the question for me, like, unless it's just a real fight, like a real big fight with two prime fighters putting it all on the line. Yeah, I'll pay for that, but it costs too much just to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I just, I just went to the Canelo fight, and I'm like,
Yeah, I saw that, man. That was dope.
I'm just gonna start going to the fights. Forget it, because I'm with you. Like, you're paying $100. You know, I found a round trip ticket to the Canelo fight. You know what I mean, for 50. And
Word.
so, like, and then whatever's I paid for the ticket, that's another thing. But it's like I'd rather just go watch it live, like, cause you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But
man. I can't.
it's
The pay-per-views are killing me, man. Like,
okay. And I hate the commentary. You
yeah,
know
they
what I
should
mean?
shut up.
Straight up, like some of them, like I like Andre Ward. He's our, I can tolerate him. But like, what's the Mexican cat's name?
Sergio Mora.
Yeah, man, I fucking can't stand him. Yeah,
Uh,
Mora just pisses me off. You know what I mean?
the scorecards, Chris Mannix. Like, what are you
Yeah,
doing, man?
yeah. They need to
uh,
bring Tim Lampley back.
Jim Lampley needs to come back. That was a seasoned crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Jim Lampley. What's the one
that's
Floyd?
it.
The dude that said, if I was 50 years younger, I'll whoop you.
Larry Merchant.
Larry Merchant. They were seasoned crew. They're
Yeah, man.
professional journalists. Um, like, I think Tim Bradley sounds like he's commentating on WWE a lot of times. He's very excitable. He's a knowledgeable guy. He always
Yeah,
says
yeah.
what's going on, but he just He's just always yelling, like,
I feel like him and Andre Ward are gonna fight one day.
because he always yelling, like, "Come on, Dre!" Like, hey man, ease up on Dre, man. Like,
Yeah.
Tim just be yelling for no reason all the time.
Hey,
So,
honest question: if Ward was still fighting, 178,
or 68,
him and
yeah,
160, him and Canelo, who takes that?
Dre,
You think?
yeah,
Because he's black.
nah. I love Canelo. Canelo's the top of my pound for pound list. I love Canelo. Uh,
I think Canelo gives him problems,
he does, but
and he has enough power. I think he could hurt Dre.
yeah, I think so too.
I think Dre. I
I
think that
think
was
I
man.
think Canelo's feet are just a little too slow for Dre, and Dre's gonna
You
figure
think?
that out. Yeah, Canelo is his upper body's great. I think his just feet are just a little slow.
Yeah, I could. Okay, I think. Yeah, I think Dre is just he waits too long. He was too much like I like his style, you know what I mean? Like he picked you apart, but like somebody like Canelo just gonna put the pressure on when it needs to be. It's like I wonder what would happen. Because Kovalov gave him problems.
Yeah, he
You
did.
know what I mean? But Kovalov is nowhere near the boxer Canelo is. So it's like, and Canelo has power, man. I don't know. I wish they would have fought. That would have
Yeah,
been
you
dope.
know what I mean. It's one of those what if things,
Yeah,
and
what if?
I'm a big Canelo fan. I love Canelo to death. I think he's great. I think he learned his English from me because you've heard me speak, and his English and my Spanish are about the same. You know what I mean?
Straight up. Straight up.
So if you were the one person in charge of all the boxing in the world, like the boxing czar in the world, what would you do to fix boxing?
Take away all the belts. I think all these belts. I just was in a fight in Cheyenne, man, and there was the main event. This person had all these so-called belts, and I'm like, and then he fought a scrub, like the kid was like 13-0, and then he fought some guy that's like 1-20. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. But anyway, so take away the belts, um, and then I think the one thing I appreciate about the UFC or MMA, like with Justin and all that, bro, they fight. The best fight the best. You know what I mean? There's no this Errol Spence Crawford shit. Like, what's the
Oh, where they
split?
can, yeah, talk
Yeah,
trash, and I
yeah.
think Crawford wants that fight.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Spence might get beat by Pacquiao. Let's be real.
Yeah,
Like,
I see that
man,
might happen. I like Errol Spence a lot. There was I still have some questions post accident. I don't think Danny Garcia kind of put the
no, he
gas
didn't.
on him to see if it did have an effect on him. And I like EJ a
Pacquiao
lot.
said,
I really like his style, but yeah, there's some questions out there. The fact that I think he should have been able to get somebody small like Mikey Garcia out of there. You know, there's some questions there. The fact that Bud's just begging for the fight, or he was, I think he's past it now. You know,
"That's a beast, bro." But I think to fix boxing though, like make them fight, man. You're old enough. I'm old enough. Like, bro, the best used to fight. I mean, like I remember being a kid, like a real young kid, but the Haglers, the Hearns, everybody talks about that era, but it's real, man. Like them dudes fought each other. You know what
yeah,
I mean? It's
they
like
did.
Roy
Everybody
Jones
should
Jr.
fight each
fought
other.
everybody, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he cleaned out 175 like nothing. You know what I mean? And then he had James Tony on his record, Montel Griffin on his record. Mike
Even
McCallum was on his record. He'd been around.
all them cats, Chavez. I'm not a big De La Hoya fan. He fought everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Just fight.
All right. Before I let you go, you want to let everybody know how to get a hold of you if they're looking for matches for your show, your social media handles. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for the show, it's G Town Throwdown, man. August 14th. It's at the exhibition hall and at the Island Grove Regional Park. We're taking pre-match lists now. You can send them to my Facebook, just AJ Vasquez. Look for the Aztec stuff, or Top Notch Boxing, and just send your list. Um, damn, my allergies are killing me. But other than that, to get a hold of me.
All right, man. Nice talking to you. You have a good Memorial Day, man.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
Peace.
Later.